What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to your September 9th daily creative reading. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, my friends. Okay, let's dive right in here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for September 9th, please? I don't know why. What's this song? I'm seeing Ferris Bueller's Day Off and him dancing on the float in the parade. Oh, shoot. I can't remember the song. I don't know. Whatever that song is. You are love. Adorable. Nice little, these cutesy little cherubs. Look at that. All right. Adorable. Okay. And then I'll read that after, which is with love. All right. Do you ever wonder whether your ideas and inspiration might be coming through your soul rather than generated from your mind alone? We're here to tell you we are always whispering in your ear about your highest good. We are conduits for spirit, letting you know you are a living channel for this awesome co-creative energy. When you're feeling inspired, it means you heard us. Inspiration means spirit is breathing through you. Inspiration needs your human passion to keep it going so you can make a difference in the world. So keep moving on what inspires you. Let yourself be led into new experiences and know that this is why you are on the earth. Your purpose is to discover your spirited nature and to bring forth through your efforts whatever is meant to be. Wondrous miracles have a way of showing up when you let inspiration propel you forward. You are so, so loved. I often reference that when I feel like for example, this happens so much when I do shopping for clothes in particular, because I feel like if I don't know, I like either thrifting and reusing clothing or finding clothing that is really like, it's just a great value. Like I love that so much. So for example, I went to Costco the other day and I found pants for like $10 each. And it was just this and transitioning was difficult for a time at first because it's like kind of changing your wardrobe a bit, right? So even now it's like needing pants that are dressier for work and other events so it's that kind of thing where, it's relying on spirit to lead you where you need to be to find just like the just perfect, like they fit perfectly. They're the right color. They go well with dressier shoes or, more casual shoes. It's just like one of those things that's like a perfect fit. And it's like, getting to a point where you step back and you're like, that's the inspiration that if spirit can lead you to the perfect pair of pants for what you need, surely the same energy can arrange things to bring other perfect fits to you in terms of a job, in terms of it just all of it, right? So I just had that kind of aha moment. Like it's like a fundamental truth that you believe, but then sometimes you can just kind of get, veered off the path a little bit. 333 on the time, 6 of Swords, right? Like you can get veered off the path just a little bit. But it's just what came to mind when I thought of this here, when I thought of that energy. It's like, oh my goodness, I let my cat out of the room. And now she's scratching to get in. And not like scratchy, but just like pawing at the door. Give me 1 second. Her lack of opposable thumbs, although it would terrify me if she had them. I don't even know what she'd get into. Come on. I know. It's so horrible. Being held is just the worst. I'm putting her backpack up on here for her. You're seeing how fur covered it is. I know, baby girl. It's coming. There you go. Oh. Oh my God. She left a kitten all over me. Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience. The queen is amused now that she's back in her spot. I know, right? Are you going to say hi to everybody? Here, I'll let you do the honors. Okay, thank you. The deck is clear. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for September 9th for my daily creatives? Ooh, little competition. Feisty. I heard spicy. Like sriracha spice or ghost pepper? No, I'm kidding. I feel like the call to adventure is kind of rising above what you might have felt not necessarily possible for you before, but like there's a way that this strikes me as like a little bit of like type A personality way of being. Like I want to say like moving and not like locations, but I found that when I was in my, my maker mode, so to speak, I was very much like go 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 go. Like it was just like I was on the move constantly, and I feel like that's what this energy is. So the call to adventure is kind of like organizing your energy to work for you in like so that it's like these different parts of you that are excuse me. I think about it in terms of that like time thing. It's like what is it? It was from the Harry Potter things books where Hermione had it, and she could travel through time and be in like 7 different places at once. I almost feel like that's what this energy is. So yes, I know, Mom. I know my little muffin. So cute. Yeah. I feel like this 5 of Wands and 4 of Swords on the call to adventure, I feel like there's possibly some resistance. Interesting. A little bit of potential resistance because of the way that it was in the past. Like the refusal is almost like you're holding out for something that you have this perception of based on what you've experienced in the past. And that's kind of shifting and changing how you're able to show up for this now, perhaps. Do you see how she's shifting? She's like, okay, that was great. More. It's just changing how I think it's like this there's a perception that you had of something and you held on to it for so long that I think that stability might be showing up slightly differently than what you had anticipated or hoped. And I think that it might be throwing your energy off a little bit, but I think you need to stick to this call here. I think this is also a bit of training, right? The original card is this is like training for a bit of battle, right? And I don't want to say train for battle, but I think this is a way that you're utilizing your energy in concert with itself to achieve something bigger. And I think the thing that's bigger that you're achieving or reaching for, I feel like you might need to release old ideas that you've had about it. That's also soulmate and soul bond energy, but we'll see what else happens here. There you go. Okay. So fascinating. The thing that could become a tower if it goes unchecked is this 3 of Swords energy here. So the 3 of Swords is like, it's like heartbreak. I think it's holding too tightly to heartbreak while you're trying to move forward in collaborative energies with other people. So it's like it kind of like stops you a little bit. Like it's like your progress. It runs the risk of being stymied. Ace of Pentacles is your protagonist. 6 of Pentacles is antagonist energy. I think this is possibly overgiving in service to this bigger vision. Like if you're holding out for something and it's not showing up, it's not because it's not necessarily meant for you. It's not because you're not meant for it. It's not because it's not a right fit. I think there's something bigger at play here in terms of the big picture of how you felt it should look or how it would look when it got here. So I'm getting the impression that, I get the impression that you have like this ace, the protagonist is the new there's seeds that you're planting with your intentions right now. There's seeds that you're planting with your intentions. And I think that the big key here, the big key is moving through that. It's almost like there's resistance that I can't, it's like I'm struggling to get the reading out because there's this resistance to do with the past. Let me clarify this. It's not like overly bugging me. The Devil and the Empress, really? That was on the bottom and this is on the split. Wow. It's almost like, so the cards that were underneath, let me just show you here. So we had the Devil and the Empress, and then beneath the Empress was the Ten of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. So it's almost like these stories that you're carrying with you, or like ways that you thought success would be wrought, like WROUGHT, like how success comes to fruition. Like what does the Ten of Pentacles achieved mean, right? Like it's like seeing this energy. I understand where this is coming from. It's like old stories of success, old templating, but it goes beyond that because it's like, it's almost like I'm hearing infertility. That could be the case for some, for which I hope that there are options for you, my friends. I know a couple people who have really struggled with that. So if that's the case for you watching, my heart is with you because that's quite hard. But I feel like this infertility it's like it's coming through in terms of like ideas and how you're manifesting. Like there's something that just was blocking you. But I think it's almost like I get this as being like obsessing about the outcome and like what it looked like. Like you're not making a vision board for with what's possible for now. It's like you're operating on what used to be true for you. And so I think that's like screwing with your energy because you're not necessarily seeing the new Ace of Wands, the new opportunities here, right? I still have to do my vision board. Let me see if I can show you without being too awkward or embarrassing. I don't think it'll let me turn the camera without turning it off. No. Well, I'll do this here. So you can see my little vision board up here and my little fun sayings. Oh my gosh, this is the worst. It probably looks like the Blair Witch Project, for which I apologize. Oh my God, that's the worst. There you go. Anyways. My cinematography is so good, guys. It's just so awesome. But I still have to do my new one, right? So I'm just like setting intentions and feeling into what I want on there because I have an idea. But it's almost like the reason why that came to mind is like if you have old vision boards that you keep for whatever reason, that's fine. But if you keep reusing old intentions on things that haven't manifested, maybe it's not that the manifestation isn't coming. Maybe it's the attachments that you had, because the Devil card is also attachments, right? Maybe the attachments that you had to that older version of success have changed and you're using that old energy. So it's not about recycling it necessarily, but it's like rewording it to meet you where you are in your energy now, right? Because sometimes we can do that and we can say like, oh, well, I want to write a book. Okay, how many pages is it? How many chapters? About what? How is it going to connect to other work that you might put into the world? When it comes to your writing, have you thought of a title? Have you considered what the jacket will look like if it comes out in hardcover before it comes out in paperback, depending on the publisher you choose, right? Because some publishers prioritize hardback publishing first, and then others go for that option as well. Are you going to look for a well-being or, because in Canada there's quite a few publishers, but they tend to be like the big ones, right? And then they have subsidiaries that they have that they publish and release through. Are you looking for like more indie publishers like Anansi Press in Canada? And so it's those types of questions. Like when you put the things on a vision board, overthink the crap out of them, because then it really gets the details going, and it's a thick detail that is possible. But that's where this Devil energy, it's like you can kind of talk yourself out of that a little bit. So it's almost like that's where this heartbreak could become a tower, because it's like you're trying to create with something that's old, right? I almost see this. It's so fascinating to me that this weaving energy, right? It's like, what are you weaving into the fabric of the new? Like, are you weaving heartbreak into it? And I'm really getting very strongly that that's the tower energy here. It could become a tower because, of course, it will be inflected with the pain. Like that is a pained card. Right? That is a card of sharp stings, right? The only time I ever had to get stitches, I was doing dishes. You can't really see it, but I have a scar here. And the cup exploded. I went to the ER, and of course the nurse was like, you're not supposed to smash it. You're supposed to wash it. I was like, oh, thank you. Right? But it was like the stitching and the sutures. And I had to get staples in my head earlier this year because I closed the trunk on my head, which apparently I'm the Hulk and just don't know it. But it was just the corner of it. And anyways, but it's like this stitching, like it's like you're stitching something together, and that can be really painful if there's not like some kind of freezing happening around it. So it's like, are you healing in the most compassionate way for you, right? Are you engaging in that process in a way that honors your right to not be in pain through a healing process? Because sometimes it hurts, but then other times there are ways that we can soothe the pain and ease that for ourselves, but we deny ourselves that because we think that that's part of the journey, when like it doesn't need to be, right? The healing is the journey, right? The day I got the staples taken out of my head, that was great. That was amazing. And it was so easy. I thought it was going to be so painful. No, super easy, right? The same with the stitches coming out of here. It was super, like they just kind of came out on their own, right? So it's like, is your belief about where you are anchoring you in it more fervently than you need to be there, right? And what are you allowing yourself in terms of resources to work with going forward? A lot of surgical things. Sorry for those with a weak stomach or anything like that. I'm fine now, but I can tell you, it was a wicked concussion. I felt so like artistic and important. Like I was walking around the house with sunglasses on the week of my birthday. I was just, but it was just funny more than anything to me now. But let's see what we got here. So the challenge is, wow, that's so interesting. I almost feel like this is like releasing the impulse to overthink this reconnecting to a core part of yourself. Because the Six of Cups is like this sort of past orientation in terms of looking at a decision, or movement forward. And I kind of feel like the Judgment card in the Major Arcana, the Minor Arcana reflection could include the Six of Cups if you looked at it that way, because it is about the past. And this could be something that has to do with like past life stuff that you're clearing up now, possibly. And that it could be why it feels big, like because it was just like I kept going back to this until I understood it more fully. But I think that this is kind of the overcoming is like you really have to let go of the impulse to feel bad. Like, and it's almost like it's like you're feeling like this. It's like, I don't know. The harder something is, the more worth it the more worth it is in the end. I'm not really sure, but like you really have to put an end to that because it's only stopping your progress and forward movement. That's really all that it's doing right now. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for September 9th, please? Yes, I'm hearing like instead of random acts of kindness, random acts of compassion is what I'm hearing right now. And the moon, random acts of compassion. But like random acts of compassion for yourself and others too, and how that can, affect your, I'm hearing trajectory. This feels big. This feels like a big reading. And what's interesting is the awakening. It's like the awakening is almost like awakening from a dream, like awakening from a dream that you had. My left ear is ringing. It's like awakening from a dream that you had, it's like it was almost outside of you. And by having the dream and keeping it in a dreamy space, it didn't have to concretize, which meant that you didn't have to risk anything either. You didn't have to risk these stories being untrue. You didn't have to risk the ideas of success being different. You didn't have to risk heartbreak again. And I feel like there's this way that you have to move past that. You have to move past that. And I think that's kind of what you're waking up to. It's like, and it's not even calculated risks. It's like, it's almost like understanding. It's like understanding what it means to swim. There's a poem that's coming to mind. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on 2 seconds. This is wild to me because I need to read it. It's from this book, Chasers of the Light. It's Tyler Knott Gregson's. This I held so dearly to me. This poem, I'm only going to read this one, and I recommend buying this book. It's excellent. But this idea, this here, promise me you will not spend so much time treading water and trying to keep your head above the waves that you forget, truly forget, how much you have always loved to swim. Like, how much you have always loved to swim is what came to mind. And I was like, whoa, I have to read this. But that's like, so excellent book. Highly recommend it. One of my favorites. I've given away copies of this. Um, but yeah, like it's like remembering how much you love to swim as part of this and whatever swimming is. Yeah, because I feel like it's been really like there's been a lot of conflict and reasons why you shouldn't enjoy it. But I feel like the enjoyment is part of this expansion outward from where you are or what you're working through or on. How much you love to swim, and it's a surfing card. Okay. Maybe that's what you're waking up to. Maybe that's what the new is. Part of this new cycle is recognizing this capacity within you to really enjoy where you are and the depth of what that means for where you are. Four of Pentacles, the main lesson. It's like looking at the ways that you hold back. Not just hold back in terms of withholding. It's not like that necessarily. Excuse me. Beep, beep, beep. Her pupils just got huge, right? Little toe beans. But I think this is like understanding how you withhold and how that stops other people from getting to experience you in your fullest form as well, right? Like how much you love to swim. How much you love to swim. Wow. Okay. Let me pull some clarifier cards here. Oh. This is like the most adorable advertisement for tarot. Like, look at that face. Right? I just don't know what I did to get so lucky to have this little bean. She's purring now. So cute. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. Yeah, tarot cards, excellent for humans and readers, but just as fun for cats. Because it's just, she needs naps from her naps, right? She needs rest from her rest. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for September 9th to clarify the details of this reading? I almost feel like there's a way that you perhaps felt that that you should. There's like shoulds. I'm hearing shoulds. Like there's some shoulds operating here in terms of, this represents both Taurian energy, yes, but there's like this commitment to specific institutions and ways of doing things and ways of being that don't necessarily serve you anymore. Like they just don't fit, but you've been clinging to them. Like that's like you've you've anchored into them. Like, yes, that's what I need to do. And maybe this is about releasing that because, and again, like the Four of Pentacles on the, like that's the main lesson that you're picking up from this aspect of your journey. And I'm feeling like there's a need to let go, right? There's a need to let go because it's like watching water boil. Like it's just not, it's only throwing you into your head more. And then we have the Five of Wands, the Judgment, and the Nine of Swords. So I feel like this, it's like truly being caught in your head, truly being caught in your head. And I feel like that's kind of, again, the Queen of Cups is coming out, I want to say as like a salve, like your emotions are the thing that you need to reconnect to. You might think that external circumstances need to change and that thought patterns need to change. And that's true. They do, I'm sure. But this is also about understanding how it is that your emotions are playing into this, right? Like you need to become the receptacle for good, the vessel for that, the good, you need to be able to receive it. And I feel like that's kind of where you're getting caught up right now. My right ear was just kind of ringing a little bit. It's like you're caught up in, I don't know. I feel like you're caught up in, I think it's like I'm seeing this like this way that you thought of a cup to be. It's like there's cups to exchange, there's cups to fill in your own. There's different kinds, and it's like you were seeing one way of a cup being. So it really kind of stuck with you. I think it's like expanding beyond this cup singularity that you held in your mind with the Nine of Swords here and Judgment. It's like there's this release And it could be something to do with past life. That's why it's like the Six of Cups and Judgment. I'm inclined to believe that past life lessons can sometimes feel like, why am I like this? Like you're working through something and you're like, why can I not get this? Like this is ridiculous, right? And it's not to shame yourself or judge yourself, because that doesn't really help your energy. It can do more harm than anything. But it's like when you see you're good, and when you see that you deserve love and you deserve good in your life, you deserve delightful surprises. It's like it pulls back the judgment for a second. And that's where I feel like this radical acts of compassion are coming in, like radical acts of compassion for yourself, and what you need. Um, mhm. Okay, so then we have the Eight of Cups, a lot of Cups energy. Um, I almost feel like there's this sense of like this tells me a lot about like the way it feels like a long trek, which again, and I'm inclined to believe that there's something kind of past life oriented about this, or the number of lifetimes that you've had in a life, right? Think about all the hats that you might have worn in a lifetime, the things that you might have done. Those can all feel like lifetimes, right? The choices that you make that get you into different jobs or into different community groups or different experiences that you've had, relationships, friendships, expressions of family relationships, right? Those can all feel like lifetimes converging in one space. And I feel a bit, this might have had to do with the eclipse energy. I do see that in this card too. It's interesting that that's coming up. The eclipse energy. I know I had it on a post-it note, but I moved my desk and I only have the two that talk about responsibility. And well, you saw them when I moved the camera. But I know that the other eclipses are happening in October and November in terms of the Taurus and Scorpio axis. So I think it could have something to do with that. But more than that, it could have been the eclipses earlier this year even. But I just feel like there's this journey that it's like this embarking upon a journey, but I feel like you're finding yourself in the middle of the journey, not realizing that that's what you were doing the whole time, right? Not realizing that you were on this trek of sorts to find what you were looking for. And I feel Four of Pentacles again. I feel like maybe it was easier to look at new opportunities instead of believing that you could let go enough to experience that Ace of Pentacles. Interestingly, the Ace and the Four make up a Five, which tells me a little bit about the beliefs that were possibly underpinning that. Like letting go can be difficult, and letting go can mean so many different things. But I almost feel like it's like that quote, like when you love something, let it go. But let me read that poem to you again, because I feel like this has a lot to do with it. And I highly recommend following Tyler Knott Gregson. He's one of my favorite poets. One of my faves. Where is it here? And some of them are just so sensual. I'm like, dang, like they're just so nice. Okay, where is that? I should have, yeah. Promise me you will not spend so much time treading water and trying to keep your head above the waves that you truly forget how much you have always loved to swim. And it's like keeping your head above the waves, right? And I feel like we can forget that we love how to swim. And it's like we hold on because we're like, no, we can't. I need water wings. I need a pool noodle. I need a little wave board. I need a kicker, like those anyways, like, right? We need that thing. We need that thing. And it's almost like the invitation is cups here, where it's like this invitation to swim, and to remember how much you loved it, the Six of Cups. But there are so many stories that you told about what success looks like that kept it away from you, right? So it's like you have this rich possibility right now: Ace of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Empress, and the Devil card. So it's like there's this sense that you're like feeling into a new possibility, and it might have felt really uncomfortable, but you were taking that journey again without really realizing it. So this is kind of storing a bit of your strength. This is like storing your strength, and just again, like, don't forget how much you love to swim. And is there any better depiction of loving to swim than the Three of Wands with your ships coming in? I mean, there are others in the tarot, yes, but like in that metaphor coming out in this specific reading in this way, it's very good. And it's not just about riding the waves of good and all of that. It's about seeing where you are and knowing that for every wave you ride, there's going to be a period where you're just paddling in the water, right? You're just paddling in the water waiting for the next one. I don't surf. I've tried to stand up paddleboard and I ended up swimming instead. That was fun. I would love to do it again just to practice, but when I watch surfers, it's almost like their whole demeanor changes when they see that wave coming in that they know they're gonna surf. You can see like immediately there's like this half second where they see it and their whole body language changes. And I feel like that's kind of like here, like something about remembering how much you love to swim. I feel like it's going to change your body language, right? Like how you hang on, where you hang on. Six of Pentacles is clarified by the Three of Wands again. This is funny. The Death card, the Fool, and the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. There's some extra energy on the bottom. Whoa, the Fool's a little covered up by the transformation there, right? But it's like remembering how much you love to swim. I don't know why this analogy is so big, but look at the waves in the background, okay? Right? I can't make this up. Like that's... And I feel like it's like this nourishment. It's like you forgot that you liked to leap as much as you do, I think. And it became more routine or standard to build from a place of broken as opposed to building from a place of stability. And I think you had to really give yourself access to that part of your dreams and your dreaming. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please, for September 9th to close out this reading? Please and thank you. What messages do you have for my daily creatives? I give what I want to receive. And that's kind of how we find out that we're not missing the thing that we want to receive at all, really, right? And this isn't to give to get. This is just to realize that we had that thing that we thought was outside of us all along. So when we do give, it can come from a more open place where we're not giving in anticipation of receiving, right? So we need to give what we want to receive. When you experience any lack in your life, ask yourself, what am I not giving? Okay, so let me read this last one to you now. So with love, okay. Dearest you, we are gathering our magic together to help you celebrate your new beginning. You're stepping into a new version of your life, getting to tell a new story as you create it. Doesn't it feel like spring when the urge to expand wells up inside you from a primal place? The form of what you are growing has yet to take shape, and it is exciting to experience this new and fresh beginning. It's normal to feel both push and push back when entering any kind of new relationship. It's okay to admit you don't really know what to expect. What you can know is it's time to dive in and allow that new version of life to take shape through you on behalf of your partner in life, Spirit. You have made it to a new level of awakening and contributing, and we are so excited to see where this will take you next. We're so proud of you. Yeah. This energy is so good. This energy is so amazing. But I feel like it's kind of like I'm hearing give up the ghost. But that's a line from a song, Ghost by, I want to say Ella Henderson, but I don't know for sure. But it's like giving up on all of the stories that you've told. And sometimes we can become really attached and kind of in toxic ways. We can become, it can get to a point where it's like the bad feels so familiar that you look for more bad to fill it, right? And I think that doesn't feel like where you are. It just feels like a habit mentally that you've had where it's like you need to be on the lookout for some bad, right? And I think to understand the stability that surrounds you, to understand that things are safe, maybe you need to give that feeling of safety to yourself in myriad ways, right? I've talked about this often in my readings, but I'm kind of diving back into Louise Hay's work in terms of compassion for self and really comforting the self and taking a fresh look at a lot of the teachings that were foundational to me when I was younger, like Abraham Hicks and Marianne Williamson, Claire Reed, Sonia Choquette, the big ones, like Trust Your Vibes. I have that book. It's like in one of the older editions. So, but it's like getting back to basics, right? Back to basics, back to not just like self-care, necessarily as in treats and treating yourself. That is fun, but self-care is in waking up in the morning, and you certainly wouldn't go into a child's room and be like, wake up, dummy. You've been sleeping for too long. And like shaking them awake, and then like rattling off this to-do list to them first thing in the morning and saying like, do this, and this. And then like just diving into like that would overwhelm any child, right? So it's like treating yourself in the same way and understanding that people are going to be cynics and ridiculous about it, but like no successful person, I have not met a successful person. And like, I've been super active in the community. Like I've worked with politicians, I've worked with authors, I've worked with a whole bunch of different, like I've encountered a lot of different people, and not a single one that has been any kind of successful speaks poorly to themselves. You see the way that they handle themselves and everything. So, they may have ways that they second guess themselves and challenge themselves, but fundamentally, there is not this undercurrent of cruelty that is just like, not giving yourself enough sleep. Depriving a child of sleep that's like neglect, right? If you deprive a child of nutritious food that they need to survive and live, that too is neglect. So it's like, it's about looking at those ways that we treat ourselves and understanding that we may be turning to a way that we thought success would come by, through restriction, through hardship. And sometimes you just have to do the things that feel uncomfortable, yes. But I feel like this is what I'm getting is this kind of call to pay attention to the ways that you are giving to yourself and expecting to receive an outcome that does not merit or does not fit with what you're giving. So if you're giving criticism to yourself, if you're giving a lack of compassion, you cannot then act from a place of compassion toward, it's like this cup, this container, right? Like this receptivity. You can receive all the good that you want, but it will be forever disconnected from you unless you're able to give to yourself, right? And that's where this Queen of Cups and Queen of Pentacles, I think, are telling a story of a depth of emotional self-care and building a solid foundation from yourself from that place. So, I don't know, just saying to yourself in a day, you're doing great. You're doing great. Looking for the benefit of the doubt to give yourself, right? Instead of being like, oh, I didn't do that right. No, you did everything that you could have done with everything that you knew how to do at that time, right? Why be so hard on yourself? Because no one is there to listen when you're berating yourself. So are you going to say to somebody, don't worry, I've already been so hard on myself and so hateful towards myself that anything that you say would not stick because I've already gone there. Why? Why is that the energy of creating from 3737 on the time? Does that make sense? I hope it does. This is your reading. So, radical acts of compassion. Like that's really what this is about here, because that's kind of where these, A Course in Miracles and these perception shifts, that's where it happens. That's where the good stuff comes from, because we're able to get into these like acts of compassion for ourselves, and that changes the way that the world around us moves through us. It's a richer, more abundant place. So just let yourself be there, right? Let yourself be there. So if this resonated, give it a like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on the channel if you're not already, as does my little bean think so. She's so cute. Oh, I touched her tail. She's not a fan of that. Anyways, if this resonated, do like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. If you are part of my subscriber base, thank you. I really appreciate you. So thank you for that. There are other ways you can connect with me on the channel through different readings, so please do that as well. She's just hamming it up for everybody, right? And as always, wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, I hope that it finds you very, very well, my friends. Take care.